Ronaldo to Ronaldo! It's one of the great Old Trafford comebacks. Astonishing.
Sheffield United 2, Manchester United 3. That most probably was our best game from the start of the season. We started the game off poorly, but is that a shock? That's not a shock. We have been doing that for the last 3-4 weeks, starting games poorly. And the thing is, we can, I don't want to say you can do it, but you can get away with it against the lesser teams. Like we played Sheffield, we got away with it. We played West Ham, we got away with it. But we saw that when you play teams of caliber, like in the Champions League, RB Leipzig, that's the reason why we got knocked out. It's because we start games poorly and then we only want to get into the game after we concede 1 or 2 goals. Against good teams, you will not get away with it. That's why we got kicked out of Champions League for doing that. We got away with it now against Sheffield because Sheffield's a poor team, guys. Sheffield is going to get relegated. They're in the relegation zone. They are going to get relegated from the way that they are playing. So we got away with it because they are much poorer than what we are. And we've got killers in front of the goal. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes. These guys don't miss. These guys are clinical. Every time we attack, it looks as if we can score a goal because of our front players. So we beat Sheffield 3-2. For me, it's supposed to be 3-1. For me, the corner that led to their goal was not supposed to be a corner. That's why Alex Telles was protesting it so much, because the ball came off a Sheffield United guy's foot. But there's no VAR when it comes to corners, and that VAR only gets involved with red cards, with penalty decisions, with offside goals and these type of things. VAR doesn't get involved with corners. I don't know why. But yeah, so the game finished 3-2, and you know, with the way we start games, we started so poorly against Sheffield. With the way we start games, and you hear the pundits and you hear all these people speaking and saying, oh, these United players don't start the game well, what's wrong with them? The blame has to go to the manager. He sets up the team. It's his responsibility to ensure the team carries out his tactics, carries out his plan. It's his responsibility to ensure that the team starts the game properly. It's been weeks now, if not months, that we have been starting games poorly. He's had training sessions. He has week-long training sessions where he can get it right and instill in the team that they start the game properly. We don't start the game properly because of our manager. It's his responsibility. Carlo Ancelotti says that the buck stops with the manager. Now, this is one of the greatest ever managers telling you that the buck stops with the manager. The manager is to blame. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to blame for the reason of Manchester United not starting games properly. We start games very, very slow. We defend so poorly when we start games. We give teams 1 goal, 2 goals. And against proper opposition, you won't get away with it. That's why we got knocked out of Champions League. So it's down to Ole. And the thing is, you only hear the pundits saying that because they're Ole's friends. They played with Ole. But we will tell you on YouTube. We will tell you what's black and white. And it's down to Ole. Now look here. There's positives to take. There's positives to take from this game. There is positives. Number one positive was that this was our best game from the start of the season. It is our best game. I like the way that we controlled the game. I like the way we were moving the ball. The third goal was a goal of a masterpiece goal. It was a goal of beauty. It involved 1 and 2 touch football. But if you look at a lot of the goals were on the counter-attacks. Especially the third goal was on the counter-attack. And we need a better way of approaching games. We need a better way. Can that tactic of ours, counter-attacking football, can that be the reason why we start games so poorly? Can that be the reason as to why we always give the opposition the ball? Because we want to counter-attack them? It's just a question I'm posing to you all. Because that is the manager's tactic. That's the only tactic he has, is counter-attacking football. And that's not a tactic for a big club. But be it as it may, guys, we won the game 3-2. Standout performers for me. Let's start at the back. Let's go to the first goal. The first goal, I blame Ole. because how do you rotate your keeper? That's the number one position you don't need to rotate. You don't need to rotate because of fatigue. Goalkeepers don't get fatigued. Goalkeepers don't get tired. They don't do much in football games, especially if you're a goalkeeper for Manchester United. You're not doing much in a football game. So why did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer rotate our goalkeeper in a Premier League game? You can do that in the Europa. You can do that in the FA Cup and in the Carabao Cup, but you cannot do it in a Premier League game. Dean Henderson is not match sharp. He doesn't have match sharpness because he doesn't play much football for us. He did not play against Leipzig. He did not play against Manchester City. So how can Dean Henderson come against Sheffield United in a Premier League game? I'll tell you why. Because Ole started him because of sentiment. Because Dean Henderson was on loan last season to Sheffield, so Ole started him for that reason and that reason only. That's the manager that we have. So that first goal, I'm not even blaming Dean Henderson. Yes, he should have done better, but he's not match sharp because he doesn't play games. I'm blaming Ole. How do you take out De Gea and put Dean Henderson in a Premier League game where we need 3 points? That's down to Ole. But look here, guys. This is the manager that we have. This is the caliber of manager that we have, that each and every game the manager makes mistakes. This manager is surviving because of the top class players we got on the other end of the pitch. These players are bailing this manager out week in and week out. I mean, we are seeing mistakes. Kindergarten mistakes that he is making. Changing goalkeepers. He was the cause of the first goal. How many other games he's the cause of setting us up wrong? Setting us up wrong in the wrong shape, in the wrong formation, picking the wrong personnel. He does this every game. But the caliber of player that we have on the top end of the pitch is saving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, Dean Henderson, for me, it was a good game from him for the first goal. He wasn't tested at all. He made a couple of saves later on in the game, but he wasn't tested. So, for me, it was a good game. That first goal was atrocious. For me, I'm going to give him, guys, it's going to be bad, but I'm going to give him a 5. I can even go as low as a 4, but okay, he made some saves at the end of the game. So, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to give him a 4. He gave the goal away. And I'm not blaming him for the goal. But he did give the goal away. I'm going to give him a 4. I don't care what he done later on in the game. He made a couple of saves, but those are saves he should be making. So I'm going to give him a 4. Aaron Wan-Bissaka didn't do much at all. I'm going to give him a 6. Victor Lindelof, okay, that third goal bounced off him. But I'm going to give him a 6. I thought it was okay. Victor Lindelof got an assist, guys. He got the assist for Marcus Rashford's goal. And that is a very good pass, you know. If Harry Maguire made that pass, the pundits would have been jumping off the moon. So I'm going to give Victor Lindelof, I'll give him a 7 because he got the assist. It was an okay game for him. I know that the second goal that Sheffield United scored, it bounced off Victor Lindelof's head. But he couldn't do anything about it. So I'm going to give him a 7. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give a 6. I never see too much about Harry Maguire. It was a quiet game for him. He wasn't tested a lot. I'm going to give him a 6. Alex Telles, I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he done okay. Nemanja Matic, I'm going to give Matic a 6. I thought he was okay. Paul Pogba, I'm going to give him an 8. I think it is an outstanding performance from Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was the best player on the pitch. I know we'll talk about Rashford because Rashford got the 2 goals. Rashford was electric. But Paul Pogba was the best player on the pitch, guys. His overall game, from minute 1 to minute 90, he had a solid game. He had a good game. And this is Paul Pogba playing out of position. He's playing as a number 6. And look at the performance that he gave us. If you put Paul Pogba in a number 8 position, his best position, there's no midfielder in the world that comes close to him. And this is not me sucking something out of my thumb. This is me basing it on evidence. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came to the club, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came to the club, he played Paul Pogba in number 8 position. Paul Pogba was hitting numbers that no one else in the midfield in Europe was hitting. But not just about the numbers, guys. His performances. No other midfielder in Europe was performing the way Paul Pogba was performing. So we saw now against Sheffield, him playing in a number 6 role, and look at the performance he gave us. He was at a level that no one else on that pitch was at. No other Manchester United player, no other Sheffield United player was at the level of Paul Pogba. And he was playing within himself. You could see that he was doing everything effortlessly. I mean, His assist for Anthony Martial. Paul Pogba has the best passing range in the whole of the Premier League. Paul Pogba is one of the best passers in the whole of Europe. He's one of the best. The only other passer that I think maybe can match Paul Pogba and maybe beat him slightly is maybe Toni Kroos. But Toni Kroos is an excellent passer of the ball. So it's Toni Kroos and Paul Pogba and maybe Thiago Alcantara. But Paul Pogba is the best passer in the Premier League. His range of passing is the best. You got players like Bruno that doesn't have the range of Pogba. You got players like Donny. People want Donny to start, but where's Donny going to start? Many United players want Donny to start ahead of Paul Pogba. Donny is not close to the player Paul Pogba is. Donny doesn't have a passing range. You saw that when Donny came on. When Donny came on, he had an opportunity to pass, to slide past through ball for Marcus Rashford. And he decided to look the other way and play a safe pass because that's not in his repertoire. That's not in his arsenal. He can't make that pass. He can't make long passes. Donny can't pass the ball long. Donny can play 1 and 2 touch football. But Donny can't make long passes. So Paul Pogba, you saw for his assist for Anthony Martial, that was a world-class pass. Who else in the Premier League can make that pass? I don't know. Maybe Bruno Fernandes, maybe. But no one else. Thiago Alcantara, yes. But Paul Pogba is the best passer in the Premier League. Look at that pass for Anthony Martial. World class. And then you got some pundits like Paul Scholes saying that Pogba meant it for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's not sure that Pogba meant it for Martial. Get away. Get out of here. All the haters step aside. World class pass from Paul Pogba. Then you saw for the third goal, for Marcus Rashford's third goal, you saw that 360 turn, that pirouette turn that Paul Pogba done. No one else can do that in the Premier League. No other midfielder can do that in the Premier League, only Thiago Alcantara. So Paul Pogba was at a higher level than any other player performed against Sheffield. And he was playing within himself. If you put him in a number 8 position, there's no midfielder in Europe that comes close to him. So Paul Pogba for me was the man of the match, but you obviously have to maybe give it to Rashford because he got the goals. So Paul Pogba 8. Then we go to Mason Greenwood. Quiet game for Greenwood. Very quiet game for Greenwood. I'll give him even a 5. You know, I'll give him a 5. It was a quiet game. He done nothing. It was a quiet game. I'll give him a 5. Bruno Fernandes, a quiet game as well. But he was involved. But a quiet game. I'll give him a 6. One Bruno Fernandes' best game. He was on the edge of everything, you know. But Bruno has these performances, guys. If you watch Manchester United with a sober mind, without any agendas, Bruno has these performances where he throws up these 6 out of 10 performances, but he'll score a goal, he'll score a penalty, he'll get an assist, and all of a sudden we give him a 7 or 8. But today he did against Sheffield, he never got an assist, and you have to give him what he done, which is a 6. Marcus Rashford, you have to give him an 8. Marcus Rashford is outstanding. He was electric. And then Anthony Martial, we give him a 7. The substitutes we brought on Juan Mata, he never do much. I'll give him a 6. He never do much. He got on the ball, but he never do much. We brought on Donny van der Beek. He never do much. I'll give him a 6. Brought on Scott McTominay a bit late to give him a rating. So yeah, I'll just give all of them a standard 6. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 because he got it wrong. His decision was to leave David De Gea out for Dean Henderson. That's on him. So I'm going to give him a 6. Can even give him a 5, but let's give him a 6. So yeah, as I'll say, Marcus Rashford is electric. What we were doing was, we saw that Sheffield held a high line. Now that's criminal. And you have to look at their manager, Chris Wilder. And questions have to be on him. I know he had a fantastic season last season at Sheffield. But you have to ask him questions. How can you hold a high line against Manchester United? We have some of the fastest forwards in the league. We look for space. That's what we thrive on, is counter-attacking football. Counter-attacking football involves you running into space. If you're holding a high line against Martial and Rashford, it's a suicide move. How can you do that? What you need to do when you play Manchester United is have a low block. A low block, and you park the pass and you surrender possession to United. And you will stand a chance of beating us because we don't have any passing patterns. We don't know what to do when the ball is at our feet. But questions have to be on the Sheffield United manager. How do you hold a high line when you got Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford that you're coming up against? Once those players get running, you're not catching them. They are too fast, they are too quick. So you have to look at the Sheffield United manager. He got his plan and tactics wrong. And what we were doing is we were exploiting that. We understood that they were playing a high line, and we were making those runs in behind. We were curving runs to make sure that we were onside, like Rashford done, and then like Martial also done, and then running in behind. And once Martial and Rashford are running in behind, no defenders catching them. So that's what we done, and we capitalized. We scored 2 goals like that. So yeah, as I'm saying, you have to ask questions about the Sheffield United manager. I think he's getting a lot wrong now. So, but this will happen when you fight in relegation. You know, your back is up against the wall. These things will happen. So overall, I'm satisfied with the performance. I'm very happy that Paul Pogba performed as I know he can. I know he can perform like this, and we just want to see it week in, week out. Look here, guys. Paul Pogba is going to leave Manchester United. He's going to leave in the summer next season. This season is his last season. At the end of the season, Paul Pogba will be leaving. I suppose he'll go to Juventus. But if he continues performing like this, Real Madrid will come for him. Because we're going to probably sell Paul Pogba for 50 million. We can't get any more than that because he'll have 1 year left on his contract and he can go for free the next season. So yeah, we'll probably get 50 million for him. So this is cool that he's performing like this because I do want to see him at the best club. Now look at Juventus are better than Manchester United. But let's be honest, Real Madrid is the ultimate in football. It's every player's dream to play for Real Madrid. And I would like Paul Pogba to play there because his talent does demand that he plays there. Paul Pogba is a Ballon d'Or contestant. If you play Paul Pogba in his best position, which is a number 8, Paul Pogba is winning the Ballon d'Or. I can assure you of that. Messi and Ronaldo are out now. They are old. They're not performing at that level they were. So now you're looking at Neymar, you're looking at Mbappe, you're looking at all these players. And you have to be looking at Paul Pogba if you play him in his best position. So if Paul Pogba continues performing like this, I got no doubt in my mind that Real Madrid will come for him. And that, for me, that is the move that he needs to make. He needs to go to Real Madrid. So yeah, overall I'm satisfied with the performance. You know, we're versing Leeds now on Sunday. What I will say is that if you start poorly against Leeds, they can put 2 goals past you in the first half. They can put 2 goals past you in the first half. And then it's an uphill battle. But the thing with Leeds is, Leeds give you opportunities. Leeds are very poor in defending. Extremely poor in defending. They defend one-on-one and they give you large amounts of space. Leeds are a team that Manchester United thrives on. Because we play counter-attacking football. We've got electric players on the top of the pitch that only want grass to run into, and when they are isolating defenders one-on-one, they get past the defenders. So I actually think that United will beat Leeds and beat Leeds by a big score. I think you're looking at something like 3-1 or 4-2. I really think that because Leeds give you opportunities, Leeds can't defend. Leeds play on the front foot and they throw people forward. They're playing into Manchester United's hands. So yeah, the only concern I have is if we start the game poorly, as we have been doing, then Leeds can put 2 goals past us. But in no way, shape or form should they be beating us. I mean, not one of their players comes into our team. Not one of their players comes into our team. So I'm looking forward to that game. I do think it's a victory for Manchester United. I do think you're looking at about a 3-1 or 4-2. I'm excited for that game because I know Leeds is a well-coached team. Let's see how we come up against a team that is well-coached, because we know we are not well-coached. So yeah, guys, let's see what happens Sunday. Hit the like button on this video, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'll see you all.